Forgive me for saying, but the three of you appear rather drained since your return. Is there aught I might do to be of assistance? Is something the matter? The twins look out of sorts, and you too seem a bit off. Treatment of the Tempered is proceeding as well as can be expected. If there is anything to report, you will be sure to know. Though, I gather you have a report of your own to deliver. Alisae and Alphinaud tell me they have finished their preliminary search for survivors, but refrained from saying much more than that. Clearly, they are reluctant to provide details. Might I ask for your account? And then, depression. Some really bad stuff happened, and it was awful. And that's where we're at right now. That's the situation, everybody.
Thank you for your report.
You're welcome.
We shall inform the troops of these developments, and instruct them to proceed with the utmost caution should they encounter any survivors.
Oh.
Allow me to go and speak with the ones at the victor's spoils. They may be more willing to listen to a fellow Garlean and accept our offer of assistance.
That's true, they might. Especially with them being purebloods.
Right. And though I am loath to burden you any further, should there be an appropriate occasion to speak of Licinia and her sister, please do so.
I am sorry to have put you through this.
Oh, Lucy, it's not your fault. Your people aren't your fault.
My distress is nothing compared to their suffering. So tell me, what else have we learned?
No.
As you may have already heard, we have succeeded in curing the members of the Populares, Maxima identified.
Yay!
They have provided us with some intriguing insights into the current state of Garlemald. The assassination of Emperor Varus was the catalyst for the civil war. Nerva declared his claim to the throne, and his opponents refused to recognize it.
So, Nerva, they'll probably cover this here too. You had Varus, who, and hopefully I'm not going to misspeak this off the top of my head because I don't have my document in front of me, but you had Varus, who was the grandson of Solus, which made Xenos the great-grandson of Solus, aka Emmett Selk, the founder of the Empire. Then you had a direct son. I'm thinking, yes, this is correct. Then you had a direct son who was also one of the sons, so would have been like Varus's grandfather. Sorry, would have been Varus's father's brother, if that makes sense. Varus's father's brother, one of the sons of Emperor Solus. And he had Nerva, who is also a grandson of Solus. I believe that's it. Again, I might be wrong, just trying to spitball it off the top of my head. But Nerva tried to maintain some stability within the Empire. Within the Telophori rose as a faction and tried to push their agenda, and what would lead to this big downfall as fighting and stuff broke out in the street.
Fighting broke out in the capital, where Nerva's 3rd Legion clashed with the 1st, who remained loyal to Varus even after his death.
They probably shouldn't have.
Of course, even Imperial warmongers would balk at the idea of turning their shining city into a battleground. Like burning down the wood to spite the wasps. Neither side would be so mad.
Yeah, well, we've seen some things here in Garlemald,
Unless
so...
something or someone inflamed their animosity to such an extent that they could not help but act against their better judgment.
I mean, it's possible, right?
It brings to mind events at the Gimlet Dark, does it not? The Emperor's sudden withdrawal from the front lines, specifically. Nerva and his father, Titus, Varus's then political rival, took advantage of rumors that Crown Prince Xenos had been possessed by a demon.
Which, I mean, wasn't wrong. It wasn't wrong.
What better way to disparage your enemies than with the truth, or a close enough approximation?
Indeed. But before their accusations could be substantiated, many of Titus's followers were silenced. While some were merely stripped of their status, others died under curious circumstances. One after another, suddenly and suspiciously.
Yeah, well, they were murdered.
Elidibus. Like as not, he had a hand in it. No evidence was found to implicate Varus, certainly. Nevertheless, Titus, Nerva, and the Third Legion would have judged it a brazen attempt by the Emperor to rid himself of his political enemies. And then, in the midst of this growing turmoil, Varus Sosgalvis is murdered.
A lot of very bad things. A lot of stuff happened.
And Garlemald's own prodigal son, Gaius van Belsar, is named the murderer.
Thanks to
Shortly
Xenos'
thereafter,
lies.
Nerva claims the right of succession. And in response, the First Legion claims the assassination was part of a coup d'etat orchestrated by Titus and Nerva.
This is so great that they are laying it out
So
a little
no
bit more
one is at
clearly
fault,
here.
And everyone else is to blame.
I should add that both parties received substantial financial backing, presumably to provide them with the means and encouragement to pursue a swift victory. And that these contributions came from the self-same benefactor.
Fandaniel in this case?
I'd heard House Brutus had been filling the Third Legion's coffers, but the First as well.
It would seem so. Though the Populares determined that the First Legion received funds from a variety of organizations, all had connections to House Brutus.
So Fandaniel, in the guise of Asahi, was playing both sides against each other the entire time.
It's just complications on top of complications on top of complications, you know?
One night,
There's so many
shortly
layers
after
to this.
fighting broke out, the capital was shaken by an immense tremor. From that point onward, they have no memories, no recollection of any events, including our clash on the Magna Glaciers.
But they weren't tempered at that point? So this would be something we assume? Like what happened supposedly on Cartano?
But when asked about the Imperial Palace and its bizarre transformation, they somehow recall Emperor Varus giving them orders in their dreams. May the Tower of Babel stand as
it's the
testament
Tower of
to the glory of
Babel!
Garlemald.
They're doing a lot of
This sounds
references.
awfully familiar.
And there's actually some stuff even in here that like hinted at that possibly
We have
being even
something to
something
show
more in the map itself with the points of interest. Eblin Rhyme, for example. This radio that we found. So there must be some frequency in which this is all being communicated, resonated.
Varus
It looks like they used some
spoke to
kind of
them
crystal
through
for this.
Radio. Perhaps it was a recording, but if not, that would be inexplicable.
Because he definitely did so.
We are of one mind, then.
The ether that permeates the ore used in this device is almost identical to that of the talismans.
I see
Draconic?
it. While it is likely more by coincidence than design, these devices might also ward against a primal's influence.
Oh. Oh. So the reason that some people in the city were spared it were because they had the radio near
The
them?
picture is beginning to form. If the tremor felt throughout Garlemald was a wave of ether emitted by a primal, then while
Right.
those within range would have been tempered, those huddled around a radio desperate for news concerning the Civil War would have been spared.
I mean, that's a pretty, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty massive coincidence that these just radios that they had made coincidentally protected them from primal influence, while the alchemists had to literally dedicate like their entire lives and or all of their recent history just to make the breakthrough to have something that would protect from primal influence. I'm not saying it's not feasible, but it is a mighty coinkydink, and it does seem to undermine the alchemists' efforts a little bit if there was something just operating like that already here.
No wonder Licinia kept it close.
My friends, I must speak with you.
What's happened?
A young man was caught trying to steal our supplies. He is a soldier of the Iron Men, we think, but one who has not been made thrall.
Okay.
Thankfully, Magni restrained him before blood was spilled. The stranger is outside, if you wish to ask him questions.
That doesn't sound like Magni. Although
think we
he's
do.
clearly working well with everybody else, so he's doing his best. Is that Nerva? I bet you it's Nerva. How much you want to bet it's Nerva?
Who do we have here?
That blue hair? We saw somebody like this in the trailer, so I'm guessing it's got to be a new major character.
Garleans?
Maybe not? Maybe not?
Traitors to your homeland! Have you no shame?
Oh, yes, it probably is, but it turns out that Nerva sucks. So.
I am Lucia Junius, a temple knight of Ishgard. And you are?
Again, it's very much that generations of us against them kind of attitude, you know? Nobody else will protect them, so they protect themselves. So, again, the idea of betraying your own kind, I think, within the Garleans is probably much, 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 much more egregious, because literally, you have no value or worth. You know, like, if you're gonna betray the only people that would ever look out for you in this world that otherwise would have been so against you, where other people can wield magic and use that to persecute your race in the past, it makes sense. It makes sense, but does not make it any more palatable from these characters to be so, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you know, Garleans are the supreme race kind of thing. That's always, oh, it's not a good look.
Jullus Pier Norbanus. And that's all you invaders will get from me.
Well, unless he's lying. He could be Nerva, but
We are not here to invade Garlemald.
he could just be
Far
saying a
from
different
it.
name.
Like you, our allies in Eorzea and the Far East fight in defense of their lives and their loved ones even as we speak. But it is the people of Garlemald who have suffered most. This we know. And that is why we have come to offer you our aid, that we may unite against our common foe.
Please just accept it. Just accept it. Oh, the music in here is...
Whether you believe me or not, those are the facts. Now, answer me this.
Lucia is unshakable.
Why would a proud soldier of the Empire be reduced to stealing? The situation must be dire indeed for you to go to such lengths.
I want Lucy to rule Garlemald. I have my heart set on it.
If it is supplies
If
you
Garlemald
seek,
still exists.
we would gladly share ours, or turn a blind eye while you leave with your spoils.
I will not negotiate. My commander will determine how to deal with you and yours.
God, Jullus. You just take the food, Jullus.
If you wish to treat with him, I will take you, but no more than 3.
Fine, let's go treat. Let's do it. Who's gonna go?
I don't much like the sound of that. But if we do accept his proposal, I suggest the 2 of us and...
I mean, probably...
Please allow me and
Oh,
Alisae to act
diplomat.
as envoys.
It didn't go so
May
good
I
last
ask
time,
why?
though. Feels like we should have a Garlean with them, you know what I mean?
We have seen with our own eyes the hardships the Garleans face. How their futures and lives hang in the balance.
It's not the warmest invitation, but it's an opportunity to prove our intentions true. Maybe not a chance to make things right, but a chance to make them better.
I mean, I do want to see these 2 be able to speak from the heart, but it does seem like having an actual Garlean here would help, you know? What would your mother say if I let you 2 go by yourselves? Well, their mom doesn't matter because she clearly doesn't care that they've been exiled from the family and stripped of the name. So I'm just gonna go with you. I'm your mother now. I'm going with you. Valka's like, I'll
I
pretend to
can
be
see
good
that
at diplomacy
persuading
for
you
this.
otherwise is a lost cause, but you will proceed with the utmost care.
Feels like this is a trap though, right? Given what we've already seen and know, feels like it could be.
A couple of children and what? A sellsword? Is this an insult?
Excuse me? You will address me by my formal title, the Warrior of Light.
Not in the least. You will find that they are more than qualified to speak on our behalf.
There are many dangers on the road ahead. I will need that back.
You don't need nothing. I'll be more than enough of a weapon here for all of us. Okay. Well, let's hope that we can make them see some sense, that we can debate or have some sort of discussion with them and be able to present our case and let them see that we truly are just here to help on whatever grounds they particularly want. But, like, please let us help you, so help us. We have food, we have airships. Please just take advantage of it, if for no other reason than to spite us and help your own people. It would be really bad if they, like, try to kill all of the envoy that's come here and, you know, our group that's come here, and then take everything by force. That would be the real nail in the coffin for Garlemald, you know? I worry they were not in the best state of mind to volunteer for this undertaking, but what's done is done. I know you will take good care of them, and yourself as well, I trust. They are resilient in the face of hardship. You as well. But good intentions and stubborn determination alone will not be enough to bring our mission to a successful conclusion. Be on your guard. Jullus Banus. It is unusual for one so young to achieve such a high rank. Very unusual. His uniform identifies him as a member of the First Legion, which has a particularly fierce reputation. Whoever his superior may be, I advise you to approach them with caution. We captured the boy as he was about to make off with our food. He must be very hungry to take such risks. Maybe we should give him something to eat. Reward him for his boldness. Perhaps it is unwise to volunteer for a mission so soon after the previous disaster. Nevertheless, I shall not squander this opportunity. He has learned a lot, and he has been a diplomatic representative, so there is good ground for this. I know. This won't bring back Licinia or her sister. Taking the same risks, making the same mistakes. It's possible, but better to try than to give up every time. Okay, you convinced me, Alisae. You convinced me. The lowly task of keeping watch over provisions would not normally befit the sun. But these being unusual circumstances, I will let no man take that which is not by theirs. Not by right theirs. Said your farewells, have you? You will be received as invited guests, and so I urge you to observe proper social etiquette and conduct yourselves accordingly. Your safe return takes precedence above all else. Remember this. Thancred, in particular, will be worried sick if you're gone too long. May the Fury watch over and keep you. So Thancred's gonna be there sneaking, is what I'm getting from that. Are you and the children ready? I will explain the route once we are outside your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, we will judge it an act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. I would expect nothing less. You have our full cooperation. Okay, well, hopefully this goes alright. Hopefully this goes according to plan. Nobody dies or gets kidnapped. For a second I thought Jullus had just pulled out the Final Fantasy XV card and was just like, get in my car, we're going. Where do you think their headquarters are? I assume there are a few others beside him and this commander he mentioned. We will do only as instructed. After all, this is what we have been striving for ever since we arrived. Alright, this is far enough. Listen carefully. We head over that hill, then follow the road until we reach Liminal Station 4. Children in the lead, I want you where I can see you. We do have names, you know. I'm Alisae and he's Alphinaud, and last but not least, there's Valka. Valka? Where have I heard that before? No matter, Alphinaud and Alisae will watch the road ahead, while we bring up the rear. I wasn't lying about there being many dangers, so you're to run, not saunter, run towards the station. If you even think about going for your weapon, the deal's off. Should any creatures bar the way, we go around them. Jullus, what did you think I was gonna do anyway? I know how to navigate a map in Final Fantasy XIV. Okay. Make a dash for the station. Let's go, but you best actually sprint. You best sprint your butt. I'll just hug the far side here so that hopefully we don't aggro anything too unnecessary. There's a fate going on. If we follow this, it should lead to the station. Not the easiest surface to run on. Especially, well, they don't have their weird little ice skater boots anymore, so it should be much easier for them to run on this. It should be much easier. If it's conversation you want, save it until we've arrived. Okay, all right, I'm going. They waited for us. We're fine. I just wanted to see if there's any other unique dialogue. We'd better not draw attention. This station. The fact that they went ahead and almost made Garlemald look like our world and modern technology in many ways. I mean, of course, there's some elements that I think are maybe a little more antiquated, but it does create this sense of connection with them in a way, the sense of familiarity with this place that otherwise would be so hostile and different for us, that, you know, has been the source of so much evil. Not that I think they're making a commentary about our world being evil, but I think, you know, more of a commentary of, again, that thing that we heard them say, people are people are people. We're here, I think. It's nothing like the ones in Thanalan. This is it. The first stop, that is. Good. It looks like your friend knew better than to follow us. Are these your headquarters? No. We're stopping here so I can check for pursuers. Since it appears you've kept to your side of the bargain, we can continue on. Good job sneaking, Thancred. You do better than I do when I'm pretending to be you. I wonder what sort of conditions Jullus and his comrades are living in. If they've any sense, they'll have picked somewhere like Victor's Spoil to take shelter. We're getting closer to the Imperial Palace, if one can still call it that. It truly is a terrifying sight to behold. North of the station is Regio Domorum, one of the main residential areas. Or, at least it was. The afflicted roam the streets in packs. They'll tear us to shreds if given the chance. Keep close. No wandering off. Understood? I'm like, I'm ready. Go, go, go. Next quest. From here, we'll be heading northeast, keeping to the left of the railway. While the route itself is straightforward, getting past the hordes unseen is anything but. Keep your weapons at the ready. They would attack their own countrymen. Aye. They spare their own, but slaughter the rest without hesitation. Though we'll try to avoid detection, the chances of sneaking by completely unnoticed are slim at best. I will lead the way, but in the event we are seen, you're to fight them off. Those two will follow us, provided they can refrain from drawing their weapons. While I doubt they would be foolish enough to stab their guide in the back, I will not take that chance. With that said, let us proceed. They really are just a people built on suspicion and mistrust. They still believe. I mean, granted, they were betrayed in the past, right? They were betrayed. They were pushed out of their own lands. It's, you know... But to see that that bitterness has taken root through generation after generation after generation. Ugh. Terrible. Alright, I'll fight him off. You can... This is what you asked, Jullus. Maybe Jullus put 2 and 2 together and wants to see the measure of our power as a sellsword, or is starting to realize, oh, maybe Valka, the reason I've heard that name before is because they're the Warrior of Light, or... this person that I would need to pay attention to. Or maybe Jullus thinks that if I betray him, he can kill the kids or hold them hostage or something, you know? God damn it, we're perfectly capable of holding our own. We must stay alert. Oh, here, I'll help this friend. I help you, friend. I got you, I got you. We can only help make the world a better place together, and by helping each other with little instance things that pop up. I see why your comrades chose you. Jullus, our contingent has a cure for the afflicted, or tempered as we call them. Your people would need to be taken into custody that we may administer the treatment, but they would eventually regain their sanity. Is that so? For all I know, your treatment would simply force them to forsake one master for another. As far as I and my legion are concerned, they are no longer our people. They are beyond saving. Those who thought differently and tried to reason with them were butchered for their bleeding hearts. Come, we have to keep moving. But they can be saved. Me the entire zone. But why? It doesn't have to be this hard. Why are you making it so hard, Garlemald? Because people also tend to do that. I know, but still. We'll get all of our tempered Imperials all in one place together. And do a little heal on you. Do a little AoE damage. Thanks for returning the favor, friends. Sorry, I just like encountering people in game. This is why I love MMOs. I hate to watch you bear this burden alone. Looks like we're not being followed. We will continue onward. Zulia bowed to us. Can I sneak between the parts of the train? Oh, no, wait. Hold on. Wait. Oh, it's just somebody fighting there. Maybe we end up doing like a weird loop around the train, or there's a secret entrance somewhere through here. The surest way to limit casualties is to reach our destination without drawing attention to ourselves. Perhaps afterwards we can try again to convince Jullus that the Tempered can be saved. He truly believes there's nothing that can be done for them. No wonder he isn't afraid to get his hands dirty. I meant what I said. These people deserve only death. I stayed my hand before only out of a desire to remain undiscovered, and that is still the higher priority. We should continue to avoid any unnecessary confrontations. Keep following the railway. You're wrong. Everything you believe is wrong. But I can't convince you that you're wrong. So I guess we'll just keep murdering innocent people. Sometimes you just gotta sing your feelings. Where's this next one? Just up here. At Tertium! Oh, is that where he's based out of? Tertium is really interesting. I do really like this spot. We'll get on our Morrow. This one's a little bit further away. Oh. Ooh, that's not good. I mean, a lunar primal it looks like here, right? Because of the weird moon tentacles. Yikes! 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 Their heads are tentacles! Their heads came off and tentacles came out! Tentacles came out where their heads were! That is upsetting! To think they were once ordinary people. Such a transformation is likely irreversible. Look at what they have become. Would you still stand there and claim that they can be cured? There's different stages. Those exposed to a vast quantity of a primal's ether may suffer severe corruption. Even with treatment, such victims are beyond salvation. Then you admit it. Now that you have seen these monstrosities for yourself, perhaps you will think twice before speaking of a cure. He just doesn't want to have hope. But we're gonna cram hope down his throat if we have to. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get some hope in there. That sounds really, really awful, but you know what? Drastic times, drastic measures. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get some hope in all the people here, because they need it. This has been a really bad, really terrible time for them. You can see that. This is devastating. It really is, but... Even here in the outskirts, it's plain to see how vastly different Garlemald is compared to other cities. Though I wish there was another way. I thank you for keeping us from harm. We're almost there. You've kept your side of the agreement, so I will keep mine. This way. Where we go? It has to be inside. Yeah, it totally is. We're gonna go down. We're going into the underground. This is Tertium, one of Garlemald's largest stations. It now serves as our headquarters. I've already sent the twins ahead. I will be with you soon, so wait for me at the bottom of the stairs. This is so excellent. This little part of the map, I got to see it in the media tour, and I was so glad actually Fusion, who does the Aetheryte Radio podcast with me, and works for Gamerscape, was like, you have to make sure that you go down and go to every one of the Aetherites on the map. And I was so... we've never seen a little thing like this in the game before. And to see what essentially is kind of our subway station, oh, it's just so good. Whoever thought of putting this in here, amazing. Well done. She clearly has no intention of speaking with you. Okay, well. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I probably would not be in a very talkative mood at this point either, considering everything that's happened. I had no idea they had such expansive structures built underground. That's why I'm wondering if something like that, you know, the Victor's, what was it called? Victor's Spoils? If there is like a mansion underground, and if it would be easier to heat it and keep it that way, as opposed to trying to deal with the harsh climate just on top of the surface. Isn't this? It's just so different. We've never seen something like this in Eorzea. We've been to little underground areas, but this is really something new again. All the different areas we've been to, the different maps and zones, while I think Old Charlian probably has the most direct sort of connections to other architecture and things in the game, all of the rest of this has been so fresh. It's plain to see why they chose this as their base of operations. They could have done a lot worse. Even so, I imagine it's not the easiest place to live. Indeed. And if Jullus was willing to make the perilous journey to Camp Brokenglass in search of food, their own supplies must be all but exhausted. They may be shielded from the wind and snow, but it's still bitterly cold. Much like Victor's Spoils, it must be a constant struggle to keep their people warm. Lower your voices. While you may be here as my guests, the others will not take kindly to your presence. My commander is in the locomotive, over there. Train! Hopefully it's not haunted. Hopefully this isn't a ghost train situation. I do not have the suplex ability. Into the locomotive we go. I want to talk to all the NPCs here, but we're gonna keep going with the story. Now comes the true test. He certainly looks the part. He does. But he's definitely not the actual one in charge. This has to be a big misdirect, right? I mean, maybe not. He does kind of look like he could be related to, and he would be a little bit older, right? It looks like he could be related to the Imperial line. I will deal with you in a moment.
These are their chosen representatives.
This still feels like a trap, but not, but it does kind of still. I don't know.
Let us hear what they have to say.
Okay, well, they're not throwing us in prison right now.
Yes, sir. I present to you our commander.
Oh, this must be Nerva then.
Lord Quintus Van Kien.
Oh no!
Legatus of the First Legion.
Quintus.
The first? I had no idea you had survived.
Apparently so.
We lost our emperor, our city, more than half our troops. For my wounds, I may never take the field again. But we survived, aye.
At what cost, though?
In a manner much to your liking, I dare say.
We are not trying to subjugate you. I
We have
swear.
no intention of adding to your misfortunes, nor do we bear you any ill will.
Spare me. Though you children may speak in earnest, overtures of peace ever ring hollow in my ears. So long as man stands to profit from his neighbor's suffering, war is inevitable.
Unless everyone profits together by supporting one another.
Driven from our ancestral homeland into this blasted waste. Yet still you yearned to rob us of our paltry scraps.
No,
It was only with
it's-
Magitech that you
no,
learned to keep your distance. Though we knew it was only a matter of time before you regrouped and returned. Conquest and empire were our only defenses. Emperors Solus and Varys understood this, and through their campaigns saw us grow and prosper. Much blood has been spilled in Garlemald's name, aye. But if it is a choice between yours and mine, then it is hardly a choice at all.
That paragraph is such an excellently structured way to just communicate the Garlean mindset and why they're doing this. Oh, so good.
I do not deny that a great many conflicts throughout history were driven by the desire or necessity to gain by another's loss. That is not why we are here.
That is not it. That's not why we're here. Please just take our help.
Nor
Please.
have we come to petition your aid in the war with the Telophoroi, grave though that threat may be. Our purpose is simply this. We wish to help you. Let us help you.
Let us help you.
If there is aught that can be done to ease your plight, we would be glad to do it.
Perhaps you would.
We would, yes. Not for any other ulterior motives.
But regardless of the ideals you espouse, your leaders would not send an army into Garlemald if they did not stand to benefit.
Yes, because it would benefit everybody if you would stop subjugating, murdering, and taking over other countries. So, look, if we can find any way to help you and make you stop doing that, make you maybe realize that you don't have to do this, then yes, we would do it.
If we accept their aid, they will expect their efforts to be rewarded once the Telophoroi are no longer a threat. And after compensation and concessions, the great empire would be brought to heel. Her enemies rejoice at her downfall. Our third eye, a mark of shame.
I get that he thinks that he is literally fighting for, right, the dignity and honor of his people in the future. That he doesn't think that he can sell them here to a future of misery. But at the same time, you will literally have no people. You will have no one. Nobody. You will have nothing unless you accept aid from somebody right now.
We won't stand idly by and let your people be humiliated. And we're not alone in that. We only want to make a difference. To make this world of ours better. Surely you can understand that.
Please hear reason.
What I'm trying to say is, there are so many people who just don't care about making you suffer. And maybe that's almost insulting after all the suffering you feel the world has subjected your people to, but believe it or not, that's the truth. And now we're here, and all we're asking is for you to tell us what you want, what you hope for.
Let us help you
So
do
much
it.
blood has been shed, so much lost. All because of this endless war. Who wouldn't want to end it?
Peace would be so great
Can we
and
not
chill.
work together to face our problems as one?
The twins made really good arguments. I'm so proud of them. Look at them speaking reason. I don't know if this man will hear it, but they tried. They tried.
Answer me this, young peacemakers. If a world without conflict is your desire, why reject the unity and prosperity of Garlemald?
Well, you don't want to be subjugated, do you? Okay, well, same thing in reverse.
Is it because we do not share your faith? That we do not share your heritage?
This is a really good discussion, though.
And virtues differ? That we cherish and hold in the highest that which you do not?
It's really compelling to try and truly advocate for a stance, especially a stance that I can only imagine the writers themselves do not agree with, right? But to try to truly advocate from that perspective and create this conflict that feels, I think, really well grounded.
Disparity is the root of discord, and peace built on compromise is flawed and fleeting. Happiness for one and all is a dream, and the reality is that to the victor go the spoils.
It's not really how it has to be.
That is why we Garleans will never submit nor surrender. For freedom and for pride, we will remain true to ourselves until the bitter end. That is my hope.
Then you will die here, and it will be the end, and that will be it. And fine, great, you took the honorable ideals of the Garlean nation down with you.
There is nothing more to say on that.
So cool, I guess die then. They're gonna kill us?
You will remain here while
okay.
I decide what is to be done with you. Do not be alarmed. No harm will come to you if you cooperate.
I am the warrior of light.
However, as your guests, I ask that we be allowed to speak with the other members of your group.
We'll go around. We don't want to show off our power.
As you wish.
We don't want to smite them all,
I had
obviously.
no intention of locking you up, as by dawn you would be frozen stiff and you're no good to me dead. You are free to move about the encampment, but there is one condition.
What's the condition? What's the condition?
Follow them.
What? Is this gonna like strip us of our magic or something? What in the world are you doing collaring us? Does it have an explosive in it or something?
Incentive. You'll be watched at all times. Stray too far or act suspiciously,
okay.
and we will administer a rather painful shock.
I mean, that's dumb, but...
Stop. Keep away from that one.
But, at least it's not like a, this will kill you instantly kind of thing.
The champion of Eorzea is not so easily cowed.
Yeah, what's up? It's been me the whole time. Suckers, put collar on me, I will destroy you.
Even if she allowed herself to be collared, the shock would be no more than an itch. No. If she refuses to obey, we will activate the twins' restraints.
I mean, yes, this is my weakness. This is my weakness. I don't want to watch my younger siblings suffer here.
You needn't worry about us.
We'll forget we're even wearing them soon enough.
Even now, you still... Why go to such lengths? What is it all for?
Peace and the future of all people. Your futures included. This one. It has to be this one. On the coldest, blackest of nights, meager though it may be, we must share the warmth of our fire. Why?
You are a curious one. A far cry from the merciless barbarian others paint you to be.
I'm offended. Offended by that. Oh. That was such a good throwback, though. Perfect timing. Oh.
You will be their warden. Take them away.
Yes, sir.
I still think that's Nerva. I don't know why. It doesn't seem like he would be here, right? Because if he were, right, the 1st and 3rd legions were against each other, so it doesn't seem like he would be here in this, essentially his enemy's camp, but maybe he just pretended. Maybe he really is just who he is. Maybe they all decided that regardless of those factions, they would defer to the fact that he did deserve to inherit. I don't know. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's just some man. I have to remind myself not to touch it, even if it starts to itch. I'd rather not set it off by accident. Oh, anyway, enough about that. Let's learn what we can from the refugees. It will take more than such a trifle such as this to deter us. Compared to what Garlemald's people have suffered in recent days, these collars are a minor inconvenience. As per Lord Quintus's instructions, I am to supervise you during your time here in Tertium. Before you ask, no, I don't have a key or any other means to remove your collars, nor would I tell you if I did. And if you try anything, you'll soon wish you hadn't. So, do you truly intend to speak with the others, or was that merely a ruse? We're in no hurry to disobey Lord Quintus, if that's what you mean. Or perhaps you would doubt the wisdom of his decision? Do as you will, but remember, I'll be watching. If I catch wind of you doing anything untoward, trying to trick our people into turning their coats and the like, those shock collars will be the least of your worries. Understood? Though we're somewhat compromised, to put it lightly, let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of their situation. And above all else, don't use magics of any sort. You, on the other hand, may go wheresoever you wish, even outside the camp. I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. But do not forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alphinaud and Alisae will pay the price. Sure, yeah, but I need to get this real fast. Look out! Okay, now let's talk to some people. It's you! Valka d'Aubigny! I served under Lord Gaius in the 14th Legion. I was there on the night the Praetorium fell. You and your adventurers. You killed them. My comrades, my friends, swept them aside in their dozens, as though they were nothing to you. And maybe I am too. Just another faceless enemy to be cut down. But it won't be long until our countrymen return, until you get what you deserve. Mark my words. Do they believe that they've called in all their forces that were stationed elsewhere to come back to the homeland? Is that why he's so adamantly refusing to accept aid right now? So cold. This young soldier's on the verge of losing consciousness. But I can't cast any magic. I just want to heal him, though. I know who you are. So-called champion of Eorzea. Haha, come to gloat, have you? I'll wipe that smirk off your face. By the flood of our fallen compatriots, I swear I'll... It all suitures. Of all the times. The worst of the lot within striking distance, and I can't even muster the strength. If it weren't for the third bleed in us, we'd be the end of you. Virgilia's treachery nearly cost Lord Quintus his life, but we made our escape. Took shelter in a mansion, tended to the wounded as we prepared to strike back, and then... night fell, and we gathered around the radio. Then the roar, the terrible roar. The capital was in chaos, but we were spared. If you can call this a mercy. Mind intact, but body broken. A soldier in name alone. I'd cut you down where you stand if I could. Murderer. Well, maybe we'll have better luck with Virgilia's group. Let's listen to some radio. The radio is the same model as the one used at Victor's spoils. Perhaps it is what saved the soldiers here from being tempered. Over to Queso. You came with Jullus, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you'd best keep your hands off that aetherite. It's deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess about with it. There are others throughout the city, built by Garleans, for Garleans. Could teleport all over in the blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. These days, however, we use the aetherite's power to keep this place lit, though that comes at the cost of its normal functions. So they were built! That's why they look so strange. They have that little core. Interesting. The aetherite is not responding. But if we could get transportation up and running again, maybe. Did you learn anything of note? Then your findings are consistent with my own. Their plight is desperate indeed. The sick and injured are at greatest risk. Without warmth and proper nutrition, I fear they will soon perish. I realize there's precious little we can do for them at the present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. Please, will you help me to tend to them? Yes, I help. So cold, and probably hasn't had a proper meal in days. Oh, if only we'd brought some food with us. But perhaps I could use a little magic too. No, I mustn't. God, this is so frustrating. Okay, we'll talk to a few people over here. How much longer are we going to be stuck down here? This is no way to live. No matter what may betide, have my daughter, and that alone shall keep me from succumbing to even the darkest of nights. Flavor Flav! Sorry, Flavius. I help. I can do basic healing with no magic. Who's there? My eyes, I can't see all that well. Oh, thank you. The numbness has subsided a little. But I know I won't last much longer. You should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my ration. If me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, so be it. At least I can still serve in that way. Oh, for their own people. When they aren't divided against them, they'll go to great lengths, you know? So those you met fare no better. I was afraid you said that. I know we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but we can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have the contingent deliver supplies? Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognize that they are not in a position to refuse help. Maybe Jullus could persuade him? Though we'd need to persuade Jullus first. Alright, Jullus, let's work on you. Let me try what I can to see if we can make this any better. If we can make this situation any better. Well, seen enough. Jullus, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? We've been scavenging provisions from the nearby houses, as most families kept, some stored away in the event they were snowed in. Still, going out and getting it is dangerous work, and we've a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is the greater concern, though. We had some ceruleum set aside until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been other refugees or one of the afflicted for all we know. Either way, we're down to the last dregs. Without the heating they need, those in poor health are only going to get worse instead of better. If it's ceruleum you need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. If we can hold on a little longer, the situation is sure to change. Aye, everything will change. Those mysterious countrymen of yours, I assume. Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere, so there's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the afflicted, or in the bastard's words, loyal servants of the Talaffaroi. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stands in its place. We'd identified the seat of the enemy's power, we realized. Lord Quintus dispatched a messenger to the 10th Legion, saying as much, Roman numerals were never my strong suit, and instructing them to join forces with the provincial legions to prepare for a combined assault on the Talaffaroi. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running for the hills. Then we shall reclaim the capital by our own hand. And how do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish long before reinforcements reach Garlemald. They need help now. Say the word, and we will bring you ceruleum. The standoff. The staring. I will speak with Lord Quintus. That's right, you will. You will speak to him. We've done enough. We've done enough of this dancing around. Just take the things we give you. We can leave. We'll leave. Just take the stuff. So, did he agree to it? No. He will not place Garlemald in the debt of her enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for ceruleum outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. And he's gonna let us sneak away and go get some ceruleum? Very well. After all, many hands make light work. Oh, you lot are more trouble than you're worth. Once we are outside, you will follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. Oh, jeez. They really were not messing around when they made this story extra long. I feel like I've said that many times now, but it's the truth. It feels massively long. There are definitely some areas where I feel like they could have trimmed some of it. I just want to get to content. I want to get to some more content. But, I mean, it's all been really thoughtfully crafted. This zone, the stances of the people here, they're difficult, they're frustrating, they're infuriating. But I also feel like this is... It gives me what I was expecting and wanting from Garlemald. You know what I mean? Although this is hardly the solution we had in mind, it will have to suffice for the time being. Without our healing magics, there's little we can do for these people beyond offer words of encouragement. But this way, we'll be able to offer them tangible assistance. We will begin our search for ceruleum in Regio Urbanissima. The first location is Forum Soleus, a park to the northwest of this station. You are to remain close at all times and act only as ordered. Follow me. His park materials. I just saw the title of this current story quest. Do you think this macabre graveyard for War Machina was once a park? This is the place. So this is the park. I'm surprised they found space for one amongst all these buildings. Actually, the recreational areas came first. The houses were later built around them. A healthy society requires communal spaces for children to play and adults to socialize. This park was named after the founding father of the empire, the great Solus Zos Galvus. Okay, so Soleus has to do with that. It does translate to the Lonely Forum, which is interesting. Did we come to extract ceruleum from the wrecked Magitech armor? No, we've already drained it dry. Same goes for the rest of the Machina in the vicinity. But as our ceruleum has been stolen, we must scour the city for every last drop. And while I don't expect to find anything here, I've decided to try one more time, in case something has been overlooked. I see. Then with your permission, we will commence the search. War Machina wreckage. We can just go beat some more Machina up. I mean, if they'll let us, they won't. That's the thing, though. We gotta walk around and watch them scrounge through old wrecks to try and find ceruleum, rather than just giving them the ceruleum we have. But sometimes you gotta be patient. You have to let people do things their way. You have to be there to support it. And then, hopefully they come around and you can do it much more easily from then on out. A cursory inspection of the wrecked Magitech armor confirms that the fuel canisters have long since been drained of ceruleum, as Jullus said. It was kind of fun that you can run right over the top of those. Let's go talk to Alisae. I did want to know what this was. Like, what was in here? There's water, dirt, but what would it have been in here? This, whatever it appears to have some, whatever it is, appears to have some sort of symbolic meaning relating to this park. Even though the place is named after Solus, it doesn't seem to be a statue of him. Well, at least not anymore. Maybe it was once a fountain, or somewhere the man himself used to sit. Not that it would matter, even if we knew, but I can't help wondering. Me too! Is there something maybe buried underneath? Are we gonna find some kind of underground elevator? Jullus ignores you as he stares at the water in silence, as if searching for something he knows has gone and will never return. Oh, I mean, it's bad. This landscape. I mean, the way that a lot of maps work in Final Fantasy XIV, a lot of times areas that, you know are massive, right? Because they're on the maps, they get condensed down. So, is this city the actual city of Garlemald as I imagine it in my head? This tiny little corner of the map? Not so much, but at the same time, you can use that perspective, that understanding, to just imagine this devastation on an even larger scale. And as it is, it's already really effective with the way that they've set up the zone, while also giving you a bit of a taste of the surrounding countryside, region, climate, geography, which is what I think they try to do when they balance out these maps, so that it's not just all one thing. Although honestly, I would have taken an entire map that was just the city, and that had different things for you to discover in the ruins and stuff. This contraption is built in the style of Imperial War Machina, armed with a battery of weapons, and capable of transforming into different configurations. But on closer inspection, it appears to be no more than a children's slide. Amazing! See, they can use that technology for so many good things. It doesn't have to all be war. And the swings, oh, it's such a smart move to bring you here first, to give you that glimpse again of the humanity amidst it all. It really gets ya. It really gets ya. Shop counter. I don't think there's ever going to be a chance that we can actually rebuild this whole city, but that would be pretty incredible if they had something like that planned. Though rather small by Garlean standards, the structure is reminiscent of a merchant stall. Perhaps it was built for children to play at shopkeep. There is nothing inside resembling Magitech or any of the devices that would be fueled by ceruleum. A map? Several points of interest are marked on the map of Form Soleus. The pond, children's play areas. To your knowledge, however, none would require the use of ceruleum. Does it say anything about that weird little cagey thing? Okay, well, we see nothing, so I guess we'll just go back and tell them that. There's not much else that we can do, honestly. This little, park shelter here. This area, whoever crafted it did such a great job. All the little touches. Oh, he's sad. Oh, it's you. Any luck? There's no sign of any ceruleum. Hardly surprising, but disappointing nonetheless. I couldn't help noticing you gazing at the pond. Is something the matter? What? Yes, I mean, no, It's just... I used to bring my brother and sister here to play. The pond was heated to stop it from freezing over, so, like all the other children, they just had to wade in and splash about. I would have stayed there if I didn't drag them out. We'd be sopping wet when all was said and done every time. And every time when we'd get home, Mother would scold us, saying we'd catch our death walking around like that. The pond was heated. With a ceruleum-powered heater, by chance? I suppose it must have been. Come to think of it, I remember seeing engineers changing out a tank beneath a hatch. But that was a long time ago, when the water still flowed clear and wasn't this brackish muck. We can't see a thing, and I can't remember where the hatch might be. With the machinery most likely broken, the amount of filth in there is probably the only reason it hasn't frozen over. I wager it's still unbearably cold, though. Alisae's like, I don't care, I'm gonna get in there. Jullus, what are your thoughts on magic? The average Garlean would jump out of their skin if they saw it. But the first has a few foreign Signiferian Medici, so he doesn't scare me. Then I take it you won't mind if I employ a little now? Alphinaud, as you have a knack for finding dry wood, why don't you bring me some? Once that's done, a blast of a fire should do the trick. Leave it to me. Go get sticks! We're making a different kind of campfire. You're not planning to go in there, are you? Of course I am. That tank isn't going to fetch itself. It's nothing so involved as extracting unprocessed ceruleum from a frozen lake like how the tappers do it. We're talking about a shallow pond in a park, and we have a way of warming ourselves up after. But that's insane. So, fancy a dip? Anytime! A little friendly competition! Step aside while I drink the pond dry. Oh, Valka would definitely say this first one. A little friendly competition might make things interesting. Last one to find a ceruleum tank is a rotten egg, though I dare say we'll both smell like rotten eggs when this is over. Get in the water! Let's check everywhere. Alisae is like blowing on her hands. You delve into the murky water but come up empty-handed. To add injury to insult, the icy wind on your damp clothing chills you to the bone. We have a debuff! Oh no! Gods be good, it's cold. Perhaps we should have listened to Jullus after all. That's not how we do this. We're going here. I'm going to the far rocks. We're gonna see if this rubble is covering something important. Beneath the water, your fingers catch on what you think might be a handle. Hey! There we go. I knew it'd be the far one. Except isn't all the water just gonna like drain down this hatch? I have nothing in my hand, but I found a ceruleum tank. You open the hatch and retrieve a ceruleum tank. Yay! What's this mysterious wind whispering? However, your grand discovery comes at great personal cost, as you become acutely aware of the freezing cold and a rancid odor emanating from every elm of your body. Jullus will doubtless feel compelled to pinch his nose shut when you deliver him your prize. Plus, chill to the bone again. We made it! You found it? Oh, there must be another one around here somewhere. Did you find anything? Oh, I hope you did. Oh, he was sniffing how bad we smell. I thought he was cold and his nose was runny. Yeah, taking a whiff. That's the whiff of heroism. That's it. And there's still some ceruleum left. Oh, the fire's still not ready. Hold on. I'll give Alphinaud a hand. That's a good boy helping. I don't think that he's Nerva anymore, but I do think that maybe he's secretly a good boy. So I'll take that. Call me an Uldan, because by fire I am reborn, and my clothes are mostly dry now too. I appreciate you recovering the ceruleum, but I wish you'd taken the time to discuss the plan with me beforehand. Despite the way you've been treated, in Lord Quintus's eyes, you're still unvoiced, deserving of protection. If you were to die on my watch, he would be most displeased. Your concern is duly noted, but all's well that ends well. Jullus, you mentioned coming here with your younger siblings. Did you grow up in Garlemald? I did, not far from here. My father was an accomplished researcher in his youth, and for his contributions to the Empire awarded an estate. We lived well, better than many. What was Garlemald like in those days? Everything. It was everything you could imagine. And so much more. Even during the coldest winters, we always found warmth and comfort at home. Coming in from the snow, taking off your coat, and sitting down for a hot meal. With family. Visiting friends and relatives, receiving that same welcome. Knowing they had everything they needed. Walking down the street, seeing the lights in all the houses, hearing the faint sounds of laughter and song. Of happiness. And although the summers came and went all too quickly, and that brief respite, the ice would melt, and the forgotten grass make its triumphant return. Grey clouds gave way to blue skies. Some mornings we'd climb to the top of the tallest building we could find, just to watch the sunrise. Never again. Those rooftops are rubble, those friends dead, and those memories. But if I could reclaim even a fraction of what we once had. Soon, soon. Our chance will come. We just need to hold on a little longer. Your salvation is right here. You just have to take it. You just have to take it. Owing to the wealth of experience I've accrued in gathering firewood, I was even able to provide Jullus with some basic pointers on the subject. I thought it might help to further build a rapport, and to distract him from his other concerns. Well, at least my clothes are finally dry, though they could still do with a proper wash. Alright, now that you've recovered from your escapades in the pond, there's another location I'd like to search, just outside the park. Okay, let's go! There are a lot of machina around. Ow. Speaking of which, parking spaces! Those must have been parking spaces at one point! Is it still after me? No, okay, it's gonna turn around. Alright, alright. As you can see, this place is littered with the remnants of various types of war machina. While my comrades and I have already recovered the tanks from the less damaged units, those that took a more severe beating are harder to scavenge. We decided to save those for another time, that time being now. Rather than prise them apart piece by piece, it would be quicker to remove the outer casing using compact explosives. With luck, we'll gain access to the tanks without rupturing them. Though the force generated by these devices is relatively weak, I would advise you to stand well clear to avoid being hit by any shrapnel. Before even bothering, though, you should check the machina ceruleum gauge to see if there's any left. It should still provide an accurate reading even when the unit itself is inactive. If the gauge is broken, I'll let you decide whether to use an explosive or not. Should you need more, come to me. Understood. Let's get to work. Okay. According to the ceruleum gauge, this unit's tank is empty, so we won't use anything on it. How about on this one? Appears to be broken. If you know a way to determine how much, well, we'll try it. I mean, why not, right? We'll try, why not? I'm trying to stand clear. After successfully removing the— No! It's empty! We need to go this way. And into the wreckage. Oh. Gosh. This place really was massive. When you're down on the ground amidst it, you can really tell the scale of it, you know? Empty. They're all empty. You did broken? All broken or empty. Not a single one yet that says that it actually does have something in it for sure. It's still half full or half empty, depending on one's perspective. Okay, we got one. So I think we can go back now. I mean, there's not much left. We could give you so much. We could give you more ceruleum than you ever need. But okay, Jullus, we'll do it your way. More explosives. Oh, wait, is that what I think it is? You've done it again! Truly, luck is on your side. With this, we should be able to refuel quite a few of our heaters. It's time we headed back. Wait here while I go and see how Alisae and Alphinaud are faring. Okay, we'll wait. I'll wait right here. I promise I will not run off. Dramatic cutscene? Impending danger? Or another heartfelt moment amidst the wreckage? Heartfelt moment. Fanny pack? I'll just wait and I'll see. Just be patient, Rook.
Finally escaped the watchful gaze of your keepers, have we?
Thancred!
Don't react. You'll only draw attention to yourself. Just carry on as you are and listen.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Just whispering in my ear, all secret like.
After you left with the Garlean lad, Lucia bade a few of our scouts follow you at a discreet distance.
I like stealth, Thancred.
We observed you being led into the station, but decided against venturing inside.
Good call, Thancred. Good call.
When you emerged sometime later, and we saw that the twins were sporting Magitech collars, it was clear what had taken place.
Yeah, some things have happened.
Now, as quietly as you can, tell me everything.
I'm very good at being quiet. It's almost like I'm not even talking at all.
Yourself, eh? Now there's a surprise.
Like, I am not that into Thancred. Like, on my list of Final Fantasy XIV characters and where I rank them, Thancred's not that high in the, like, people I'd like to smooch. He's on there, but he's not high. He's not high on that list. But Thancred Invisible, whispering into my ear, is a new category of Thancred that I had never considered before, and I have to say, it is getting him top marks.
This is also the first I've heard of a plan to join forces with the 10th and storm the Tower of Babel. An interesting development, and perhaps the opportunity we've been waiting for.
Take our information and go,
Thancred.
Thancred.
Camp also received some rather promising news, but it's still too early to get our hopes up.
Okay.
For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them. With luck, this
Bye,
will be
whispering
ours.
Thancred.
Until then.
See ya. We should whisper more like this in the future. I'm into it. I'm into it, Thancred.
They had not
Sorry,
gone far.
Take a screenshot. I looked real good for a second. I just had to.
We searched high and low, but no luck, I'm afraid. I might have guessed you'd be the only one to find anything.
I wasn't expecting much to begin with. Eventually, there will be nothing left out here for us to safely salvage.
Correct, Jullus. Which is why we offer a better solution.
For now, this will have to suffice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got excited and I cut him off. I'm sorry, Jullus. He does seem to be a genuine person. There's just a lot that's happening. You can tell he wants to help his people. You can tell he believed in what Garlemald built.
Heard you'd gone hunting for ceruleum above ground. Brought back a king's ransom?
You know.
But thanks to these three, we have enough to last a little while longer.
Well, well. It's not at all as I was expecting, these ones. For savages, they seem positively docile.
Okay, we don't need to use that word. We don't need to toss that word around.
It's a poor attempt at humor.
It's bad. It's poorly received.
I'm grateful for your efforts. But even with another night of warmth, there are those among us who may not live to see the morrow.
Let us magically heal them. You use magical healers in your ranks. Let us do this.
I trust your expedition was fruitful.
Lord Quintus!
Maybe Quintus should die. And then everybody else
procured to refuel the armor.
Can do what they want. To refuel the armor? Not the heating for people?
But
maybe he should just die. That seems like a good solution to me. This man is...
The time for action is upon us.
Delusional.
My men and I have matters to discuss. In the meantime, you are to wait here.
What, the 10th is here? Or they think the 10th is here? How much you want to bet the 10th is not actually here? It's been some sort of ploy or something, and they're going to march in and just get slaughtered unless we help them. And what are you going to do about your people back here? Freezing and dying. Doesn't matter if you retake the capital if everybody's dead once again.
Action. What did he mean by that?
I can only speculate. Clearly something requiring their magitech, given what we just heard. Whether they plan to utilize it now, or after they join with the 10th, is another question.
Maybe he just thinks he can recklessly do this without any other support? Oh, such a disaster!
Will they ever escape this cold? Return to and reclaim the idyllic spaces of which Jullus spoke?
Only if they put aside their past preconceived notions and prejudices and are willing to forge a new dawn. Did they get word the 10th isn't coming, and so they just decided to go?
Alphinaud and Alisae are to stay here as our prisoners. They will be released once your comrades have relinquished their supplies and withdrawn from Garlemald.
Oh, cute joke.
Until our terms are met, they will be detained at a separate location.
You absolute nincompoops. I mean, not all of them. You can tell that clearly Quintus is largely to blame for this. He's an old man holding on to an old rank.
This is how you treat us.
Our allies have but limited supplies. They may stave off cold and starvation for a short while, but what then?
Just accept the help. Yeah, you agree. You don't want to push it because you agree with them, and you know that.
For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them.
I just want to shake them. I just want to shake them. Everything will be all right. Have faith. I say that all the time, Valka, say it back. I wasn't gonna be short and terse with them. I will be there for them for my tweensies.
Get them out of here.
We will come back for you. We will come back for you. You are fine. It will be okay. So help me. It's gonna be all right. Nobody's gonna harm a beautiful silver hair on their heads. Not if I have my say. Alphinaud Alisae will be fine, provided they do not resist. Wait, Alea Iacta S? Is that what it just said? Wasn't that in relation to the dungeon? I thought it was. I don't remember. I have to see. You will accompany me back to your camp, where I will meet with your leader and present Lord Quintus's demands. Before we depart, however, there is something I would ask of you. Assuming your contingent complies, the supplies they surrender will need to be transported here. That task falls to Legionaries Marcellinus. Yep, there it is. And Octavia, who will pilot Magitech armor to your headquarters. You are to inform them that we are leaving shortly. Tell them to ask the eel for further details. In those words. Once you've seen to that, meet me by the exit. Oh, I don't remember what eel. Which one is eel? We'll find out. You again. This man's supposed to be moving stuff? Or this person? They had sutures that tore open. Ask the eel, he said. So, that's to be the way of it. After all this. Is he rebelling? He's rebelling. Maybe the eel... Wait. No, Zeus is a title for the emperor. I don't have the chart in front of me. So again, I'm just talking off the top of my head, and I usually... There's a margin for error when I don't have my information in front of me. But is eel... Eel does denote a certain rank. Does it denote, like the rank of, like, a prince in waiting? It might. Because this could be Nerva. It could be Nerva, and he could be giving the signal that they're supposed to revolt or overthrow Quintus at this point, which I could see. How ironic that you should be the one to deliver the news. If those are my orders, then so be it. For the glory of Garlemald. It has to be. It must be. He must be seeing at this point that this is not, like, working and that they have to do something different. What do you want with me? Ask the eel. So, Lord Quintus has reached a decision. I knew he would understand, that he would recognize the savage as a ruthless, merciless creature, and to defeat him, we too must be uncompromising. I am ready. In the name of Emperor Varys, for the glory of Garlemald, I will fulfill my duty. Oh, are they gonna do like a suicide mission? They're gonna like, what, take bombs to our camp and blow us up? What's happening here? Because I do not get a good feeling about it, and I think this is an incredibly bad idea that we just let this happen. We're going just outside. Oh, come on, Quintus! Quintus! I hope he gets killed by some tempered monster. I mean, it would... Look, I mean, if we can get him to come around to our point of view, that would also be good, but I just don't get that sense. Have you done as instructed? Their duties involve more than the transportation of supplies, don't they? Duty is rarely a simple thing. We have been given additional orders, though whether we will be required to follow them depends entirely on your contingent. You and I are in this together now. Like it or not, we have to cooperate. There is one other matter. A place I'd like to visit on the way to your camp. It's a short walk from here. Follow me. Maybe if we don't obey, then they're going to try and blow us up or suicide bomber us or something. That just seemed, you know what I mean? That just seemed like a, and then I will sacrifice myself because I can kind of thing. Which, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not the way. Make real change with your lifetime and work at it. Don't just throw it away to do something like that. But we'll see. Who knows? We'll see. Give me a moment, please. Jullus lingers by the ruins, reluctant to leave and reluctant to stay, unable to move on. Yeah, wait. That's his house, probably, right? Is that where he lived? It probably is. That'll be my guess. You take your time. Think about all the things you could do. He's definitely...
This is my home.
Yeah.
Our home.
He's definitely not nervous. I just kept hoping. It seemed like they've had us interact with him so much. It seemed like he would be some other notable figure, but I guess, you know what? A common person of Garlemald. A person who lived here. Really, honestly, isn't that the most important person to survive this? I think out of all the other atrocities that have been committed, the common people themselves deserve the chance at a new life.
At least it was, until that night. I was with Lord Quintus when the capital fell, and thus spared. My family, who did not own a radio, were less fortunate.
Can we find them?
When dawn came,
them back?
I made my way here. My parents, my little brother and sister, they were still inside.
Did you kill them?
But they weren't themselves, and they tried to. And I had to.
Oh, Jullus. If you just accepted help, we could have saved them.
I'd promised to take them away from the capital that very morning, to somewhere safe, to hide until the fighting stopped.
It wouldn't be conductive if I said that, so I won't say anything. Or constructive.
I promised. The Garlean flag bears a chain. The bonds between our countrymen. A red link at its center. The blood of the fallen. Our loved ones who lived and died for Garlemald.
They gotta put Quintus there to make me feel pity for him.
Who would be left to remember them and their sacrifice? What enduring proof would there be that they were ever here? If we had turned to your gods, would they have saved us?
No, but if you turned to other people, you would have had a fighting chance.
I'm sorry, forget I spoke.
Don't apologize. You have big conflicted feelings right now. You had to kill your whole family. So that's a lot. That's heavy stuff. That's heavy stuff, Jullus. My babies.
It's no use.
Oh, please stay safe.
Believe me, I do not enjoy being here any more than you. But she wanted us to play along, so that is what we will do.
Alphinaud's like, I trust her implicitly, and I will continue to do this. Her little scoot back against the wall. Yeah, you cold. Go sit with your brother. Go get in there. Go on, Alphinaud. Go on. He's completely not even... Alisae. Oh. Yo. Oh.
It's so cold.
You can't make Alisae do anything. You have to let her do it of her own volition.
Painfully so. Unbearably.
Oh. They love each other very much.
I've been thinking about what Quintus said. About why no one would accept Garlean rule.
Because no one place should speak for everyone.
Irreconcilable differences. when coexistence isn't an option, only conquest remains. Varys at Gimlet said much the same. Only by uniting the world beneath a single standard would we rid ourselves of the Ascians.
Oh, but a single standard can also just be a common agreed upon purpose, you know? To work together.
United as one people. One race cleansed of imperfections. A cold and unforgiving vision. And when we fail to live up to their standards, what place is there for us in their world? But the truly sad, truly frustrating thing is how damnably similar it all is to the lofty ideals of Father and the Forum. Non-intervention. Always non-intervention. Protect our knowledge and our people, and to hells with the rest of you. And yet, I can see how it happened. Varys and Father looked to their elders for guidance and took their virtues as their own. But for this world was of their making. In who else could they place their trust?
In themselves in the future and others.
All of us lost in a sea of chaos. Searching desperately for purpose and meaning. But it shouldn't just be an extension of another's. It has to be ours. It has to be. We all have a stake in this world. No one should be silenced.
I won't deny that we lack the experience of people such as Father or Quintus. Perhaps they've come to see the world as a series of problems, and the most efficient way of solving them, to reduce everything to fundamental forms. A stone is a stone, a cloud, a flower, no more than that. Simple descriptions that strip the subject of distinguishing characteristics. A man is a man, divided according to race, creed, or allegiance, and to some, defined by such associations.
All of this writing is just so good. Just wanted to keep going and not interrupt it too much.
In my misbegotten youth. But what I believed wisdom was no more than aggressive ignorance.
Oh, if that is not a line. I think we have to all constantly examine our thoughts and our beliefs and the things that we consider to be our absolute truths and wisdoms, right? Is it aggressive ignorance? Are we not considering something or considering someone else? It's an ongoing thing in our entire lives, right? But the moment that you stop doing that is the moment that you stop leaving yourself open to the possibility of understanding more than you yourself alone ever could. The experiences of others, the experiences you yourself had that others see in a way that sheds new light on them. Understanding, empathy. It's a good conversation they're having.
I've since learned to look beyond the banners and the politics. To see people as individuals with their own hopes and dreams. As for my dream of building a better world, well, every day I'm reminded that it is far more complex than I had ever imagined.
That is the truth. But we keep trying.
Onward, to find the wisdom and the strength to see it through to the very end.
We keep trying.
All of our supplies and an immediate withdrawal. These are your conditions?
Demands. And you forgot about the airship. Once again, you will leave one behind. It will be used to return the prisoners. Their collars will be removed prior to the exchange.
If we mobilize this entire force to come here just to turn around and run back, that's gonna be pretty anticlimactic.
So in the end, not even Father's expertly worded rhetoric could deter you from your chosen course.
Huh?
Not that I thought for a moment that it would. I've no love for violence, of course, but ours is a cause worth fighting for. I just wish he'd realize it too.
Correct, Alisae. It is his fault for not
Sometimes the only way
realizing.
to protect the ones you love is to take a stand. To refuse to suffer in silence.
Yes!
I want you to know I share your conviction. Whether it be on the battlefield or in the debating chamber, I won't back down. I guess what I'm saying is...
Compare this to her in Binding Coils where she's like, we will never get along and I don't ever want to now, look at how far they've come. They themselves have learned to reconcile their own differences as well as this bigger, huge, massive philosophical thing, right? It begins with one person. It begins with accepting one person near you and then realizing that you can understand and accept so many more. You say you love him. You say it.
You found your own reason to fight.
Oh, well, there's that too. Because, yes, she kept saying that she didn't have a reason to try and fight back in the Bahamut raids. But she does. She has her own beliefs now.
Yes. Yes, I have.
But you tell him that you love him too. It's very
God's
important
willing,
that you say those
there will come
words.
a day when we can finally lay down our arms, and there will be peace. But not until the Telophoroi have been defeated once and for all. And you, brother, will have a vital part to play. By your words and deeds, you'll lead the way.
Alisae, I'm sorry. Please do not leave yourself out of this equation.
I pray I am up to the task.
Alisae will lead the way.
There'll always be naysayers. Those who think us fools for even trying. It's easy for learned elites to criticize earnest efforts and assert their moral superiority, all without offering alternatives.
Gosh, this is a meaty conversation. There are so many things to take apart in this.
Not that their sophistry has ever wounded you. So stubborn and strong. Stronger than you even know.
Alisae, I hope Alphinaud returns your pep talk.
Don't ever change, you hear me? If you stumble, I'll be there to catch you. Or give you a thick ear. Maybe both, for good measure.
This is how Alisae says I love you.
Thank you, Alisae.
No, don't. You two look out for each other and love each other. I'll be back soon. Hey! I should have known that their other adoptive elder sibling would not be like, yeah, it's cool if they just stay in there imprisoned. I should have guessed as much.
The scouts have secured Alisae and Alphinaud. Their collars were removed without complication as well. They report no casualties, not for their party nor the guards, who will wake from their premature slumber in due course.
There goes your bargaining chip. That's what you get.
It would appear the situation has changed. I propose new terms. We have information that will be of great interest to Lord Quintus, and I wish to speak with him in person.
The 10th isn't coming. They can't be, right? There has to be a reason why they would want to work together with us in this situation. To bring some kind of reconciliation and a step forward.
No. In the event you rejected our first proposal, we came prepared with a second.
Jullus, do not do this. Don't do whatever this dumb harebrained thing is that you're about to do. Don't do it.
Ambush!
You are going to sacrifice the lives of your few people.
Coming, make ready!
Oh my gosh. Just take the help.
Of the First Legion, proud servants of Garlemald. Of the fallen Emperor Varys, shall safeguard these lands from
Yes,
the
Valis.
barbarian hordes until our country.
Sorry, yes, Jullus.
Return!
This is so valiant of you. Yeah. So valiant. Quick little windstorm.
This child may be the worst emissary I've ever seen.
This infant shouldn't be talking, let alone trying to tackle diplomacy.
We received an urgent communication from the Grand Company of Eorzea. Envoys from the Imperial Army, led by members of the 10th Legion, came to Alamigo and requested an audience.
Did they now? Did they now?
They explained that their efforts to coordinate the reclamation of the capital with the aid of the 4th, 5th, 8th, and 12th had ended in failure.
Their efforts to coordinate. So what, they couldn't get the other legions together?
Most legions has broken down entirely. Most of the 10th's conscripts have deserted, leaving their forces severely depleted. That is why, unable to continue
they have been
the fight
chased
on their
out
own,
in many
they and
places.
their allies turned to the Grand Company of Eorzea for aid.
Lies. Every word.
Jullus, they are not lies. You shut up. You take the cotton out of your ears right now and you listen, boy.
Finished. The 10th has requested that we deliver a message to Lord Quintus. Have the ill stand down.
That's right. Two can play at secret
You have been
catchphrases.
listening, my lord.
Two can play at it.
What are your orders?
What you gonna do now? You want us to evacuate and leave and not help you? Quintus, come on now. See reason.
Inform her that we will honor the 10th's decision.
Yes, 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 yes. Good, good. Gods, at last.
Bereft of hope, and now dignity.
Get rid of dignity. Dignity doesn't serve you all the time.
I release you from your duty. All of you.
Sometimes dignity is just misplaced pride. It's just, again, what did Alisae say, or Alphinaud say? Like aggressive ignorance.
I take solace, your radiance, in the knowledge you are not here to witness our debasement.
The weird radio
Was a
forest.
grand, glorious dream we shared.
I really do have a lot of questions about that.
Of a world united, of peace and prosperity. We are ghosts, you and I, memories of days gone by.
The effect on the song and this like train station. Oh, this is the real end of the Garlean
Bonds
Empire.
forged in blood that I will not see tarnished.
He's gonna kill himself. Okay, alright, whatever. I guess do what you're gonna do, Quintus. If you literally cannot bear to try and save your people and actively work for their future, then I guess do this. Because as of right now, you are just a hindrance. But you could choose not to. You could choose to do something else.
Quickly! We have to reach the station before it's too late.
Are they all gonna do it? No. No, they wouldn't.
If there is still a chance that Quintus will agree to a truce, we must take it.
They're just gonna be leaderless now, right?
I just hope we get there before he and his men do something rash.
Oh my god, please tell me they are not all going to do this. This is the stupidest thing ever! Oh my god! We'll see if the rest of his forces did it. I don't think they couldn't have. They couldn't have. Why would they do that? I mean, I get it. I understand. And that scene was really, really, really well done. The cinematography and everything in that scene was really well done, but at the same time, unbelievable. Oh, we couldn't attune there, right? Oh, we've got a quest here. Okay. I thought for a second we were going to have to go back there. We will make no attempt to resist. We're not going to enslave you. We're not going to do what you did to others. Much and more has occurred since last we met. As for determining what comes next, we must speak with Lord Quintus. He gone. He gonzo. Before we proceed, tell me what you know of the First Legion and the disposition of their forces. They were preparing for war while the refugees in their care were left to go hungry. A reckless, short-sighted plan that risks the welfare of the people they are sworn to protect. Nevertheless, we cannot compel them to accept our aid. If we were to arrive in force with the intent to do so, we would only incite panic. But perhaps they can be persuaded to follow one of their own. Go with Jullus back to the station, and have him lead the refugees here. Some may be unwilling or unable to leave, but for the time being, I'll take what I can get. Alphinaud Alisae and the scout sent to extricate them should already be at the station. I will also have our other comrades in the area lend their support should it be needed. Understood. I will have food and bedding prepared for the refugees. Getting them here safely, however, is my immediate concern. Okay, then we go! Oh, we gotta go all the way back there. Okay. 'Tis a comfort to see thee none the worse for thy recent ordeals. Oh, I did not expect you to arrive so soon. There's been a development. Perhaps you would best see for yourself. What are you doing back here? Where are Jullus and the others? Valka and Jullus. We arrived just before you did, and too late. Too late for what? What's happened? It's Lord Quintus. He took his own life. After the news about the 10th, he relieved us of our duties. Then, when he was alone, he... No, he wouldn't. Well, he did. So... Thancred and the others, assisted by the soldiers, have seen to the remains. In due course shall the legatus be afforded a proper burial. They released us from our duty. He wanted us to be free to choose our own fate. Without him to guide us, I have just this moment spoken with Lucia. We are ready to commence the transfer of the refugees here to Camp Broken Glass, should they be willing to accept our aid. Some would rather die, but most of us just want to live. Songs and standards be damned! We just want to live! We'll need to speak with the refugees. They'll have to decide for themselves if they wish to come with us. If any would prefer to stay, we can have supplies brought over for them. It'll be a hard journey for the others, but we'll see they reach our camp safely. What do you even say? You know, what do you even say? after what's happened to his family. The first was all Jullus had left. Now even that's been taken from him. He's not alone in that either. There's a comfort in having someone to follow, someone to lead. Well, you can hang out with me. You know, we can do that.